of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. There is a new podcast in the diocese that has taken off in the last few weeks. It's available anywhere that you have a device that can do such things. It's online, it's on your phone, it's on that little podcast app if you have an iPhone, and it's called About 4 O'Clock. It's a podcast put out by the vocations office in our diocese. Our very own kind of son of the parish, Father Chad Arnold, son of Marceline that taught here forever, is doing it with Father Garrett Burns and Father Drew Hoffman, which are two of my high school friends who also became priests with me. They're just talking about discernment and anything to do with young men considering a call to the priesthood, kind of talking about the hurdles and the obstacles that get in the way of a man answering God's call. It's called About 4 O'Clock, which was the time that the disciples noted in the gospel they had their conversion. They remembered that moment so beautifully that they remembered that it happened at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And so you can find it, but I listen to it mostly not for the theological insight, but for the banter, the funny part at the beginning of their episodes. Just a couple weeks ago, Father Chad's banter question for the guys was this: priests and dogs, your thoughts? And everybody knows my thoughts on that situation, so I won't say any more. But no, it's not like I don't like dogs. Like, I love dogs. My brother actually has gotten 2 golden doodles in the last couple months that I just love. Anytime they're at my parents' house, it's great to play with Clover and Sage, but I don't think that I would be good at taking care of them. My thoughts are more like Father Drew's thoughts on the episode. I can barely keep myself alive, let alone another dog or another living being. And I thought about that in regards to the gospel this Sunday, and I hesitate to preach about a gospel, about a gardener with so many great gardeners in our parish. So many people that love to cultivate plants. It's never been something I've been gifted at, and I just kind of thought about all the different things that I've been given the care of. Like, I at least fed Father David's fish while he was on vacation last week, and they didn't die. That's great. My friend once gave me a cactus. My friend from Tucson, Arizona, I went down there for his ordination, and he gave me a cactus, and I couldn't even keep a cactus alive. And, involves very minimal effort, okay? And I realized that mostly I think these things, animals, plants, children, whatever, they involve a lot of patience. Fishing is a lost art, I think, in our world. Somebody asked me last night, this is fishing weather, Father, do you fish? And I said, no, but it brought back to my heart and my mind that I did fish when I was younger with my 2 grandpas who have passed away. We went on bass fishing tours and expeditions in Arkansas and all this stuff. But I think it's a lost art, just being patient and letting something come to you. Being patient, doing the work that needs to be done, putting out the line, putting out the plant, planting the plant in the soil, watering it, hoping that it will grow. We put ourselves out there. We have to do a little bit of the work, but then it involves a lot of trust and a lot of confidence that somebody else, something else, that the process is going to get the rest done, that God will bring about the growth, that a fish will swim to the hook. And so I don't know about all those other things that I'm not very good at cultivating, but I really do feel a passion and a desire to tend your souls, to tend your hearts, to tend a flock, to be a fisher of men. Just last weekend, if you saw me tired here on Sunday, it was because I had exercised more than I have in a long time. Father Garrett and Father Hayden and I played in a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, and our team name was the Swishers of Men, okay? Just wanted to show you these epic uniforms with a fish going through a basket. And The only thing that matters is we beat the seminarians, so that was good. I feel a great love and a desire to be a fisher of men, and I experience that as I sit in the confessional many days. There is a lot of waiting on people, putting out the hook, being present, and waiting for people to come back. A lot of times I'll have people in the parish pray for the people in our parish who most need this sacrament. Pray 3 Our Fathers for the person in our parish who most needs to come to confession. And sometimes there's a great haul of fish. Yesterday at 3:30, a lot of our Saturday afternoon confession times are pretty lightly attended. People are pretty busy on Saturday, but yesterday we had like 20, 25 people during my hour, and a lot of them were 3, 4, 5+ years since they had been to confession. The Lord is teaching me by this vocation to be like Him, to tend gently, to trust in the growth that I don't bring about, and to wait for the Lord to do the work for me. This gospel is a beautiful gospel in the middle of our Lenten journey, as perhaps maybe we feel like the owner of the garden. The owner of the orchard is us, and the fig tree is our heart, our soul, and the gardener is the Lord, and He comes and we say, I've got nothing, I'm dry, I'm dusty, I feel like this ground, just pull it up and root it out because I'm exhausted. There's no hope in me. Just forget about me. How many of us feel like this orchard? How many of you feel like you would describe your spiritual life as dry or as thirsty or your growth as stunted? In the middle of Lent, it's easy to feel like we give up giving up things so easily. We give up on our penances so quickly. How vigorous we were at the beginning of Lent to say, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then how easily do we give it back throughout the season. And so this is just a reminder that this season is not about your achievement, not about checking a box, not about what you can do, but about what the Lord wants to work in you. The transformation that the Lord desires. Feeling dry and arid at this time, I encourage you greatly in this Mass to pray about what are the areas in which you need to come back to life. What are the areas in your heart that are in need of transformation? Maybe it's just a hopelessness or a negativity. Or maybe it's a shame that you feel about yourself. Or maybe it's a frustration you feel with some part of life. This gospel is so beautiful today because it's something visceral that we're really truly experiencing this time of year. As we see the dead grass and the trees that look dead come back to life and bloom and turn green as we receive rain from the earth and sun from the sky. The Lord wants to work this in us so that we no longer look like this, but a lush green orchard, a garden, where we can bear fruit and give shade to other people. Reading from Scripture of God giving His name to Moses. And two fears that I think we have that prevent the gardener from coming in and tilling the soil of our life. Number one, we want to control God. We want to show Him how to do it. How our orchard, how our tree is best cultivated and watered and planted. Moses in this gospel, he's asking God His name, but he's not just doing it out of a love and a curiosity. He's actually doing it because he wants to get a control on God, right? And God is basically like, I won't be controlled. You can't pin me down. You can't box me in. I am who I am is my name. I am more mysterious than you could ever imagine. I'm different than anything you faced before. And I am who I am, and I will take care of you. And so we got to fight that control, fight that effort to do it yourself. How well has that gone for you in the past? Guessing not very well. So give up the control and let the gardener do it. The second fear that we have is the fear of just quitting and giving up. Just cut it down. I'm exhausted. Forget about me. I was praying about this gospel more like while I was celebrating 8 a.m. Mass, and it came to me that I've experienced this gospel in a pretty symbolic way over the last few years. The gospel mentions specifically 3 years, which is a reference to how Jesus has preached the gospel for 3 years, and the people have still not repented, but he says, give it another year. After they see me rise from the dead, they might believe. For me, 3 years now here at St. Anne, I know it's hard to believe, but 8 months into my time here, everything just stopped. And we've had fits and starts, and we've tried to start programs and initiatives, and people have come and gone. And now there's a lot of people coming back, like right now, who I don't remember, but were here before the pandemic started. And it's trusting that the Lord is going to bring about that growth, that the Lord is still working in people's lives to water them, to shed light on them, and to let them grow. And we want to step away from this refining fire. Moses hides his face because he's afraid of the burning bush. But it's interesting, if you see in this gospel, in this first reading, the bush is on fire, but it's not consumed, right? So that's like our fear of God. Like, he's so great, like we think he's going to just destroy us, or that he's going to be so mad at us that he's going to take us apart. But that's not what God does. He wants to give forth his light. He wants to give forth his warmth without destroying us. It's kind of an image that I reflected on in the confessional as well. People are kind of funny when they'll walk around the kneeler and say, Father, can I sit here? And I'm like, yeah, of course. That's why the chair's there. I actually like that. I know not all priests love that. Not all people love that. Of his heat, but not being consumed. Do not be afraid. Do not quit. Do not give up. The Lord's not done with us yet. The Lord's not done with you yet. And so what an incredible gardener this is. I think if I talk to Trish, our iris expert, and our German expert, if I talk to Dutch's greenhouses people, they would tell me, like, this gardener is silly. Like, it doesn't make any sense business-wise or otherwise to just leave this plant in the ground to just suck up the earth and the nutrients for another year. If something isn't working, we pull it out, we put something else in, and we start again. But how gentle and how kind and how patient and how loving is this gardener? You are that little plant. And he wants to build a wall around you and give you peace and take away the wind and give you sunlight and give you fertilizer and give you water and watch you grow. He loves that little tree so much, I bet he would give up his life for it. But he would give his life up for it on a tree. So today, just want you to take a bet on the Lord. Not on yourself, but on the Lord. My grandpa taught me how to fish, but my grandma teaches me how to gamble, okay? My grandma is one of the few people I know that on her gravestone she has a deck of cards on the back of it. She's still alive, 86 years strong, and she beats me all the time in cards or in dominoes, and she teaches me how to win and how to trust in the odds. And I just love this line at the end of the gospel from the gardener. Leave it for this year also. I shall cultivate it and fertilize it, for it may bear fruit in the future. You never know when the Lord is going to bear fruit in your life, and you never know when the Lord is going to bear fruit in someone else's life who is far away from the church, who you cry for and who you long for. And so just this season, and just again today and every day, bet on the Lord, that we might become this garden and bear fruit.